All right, so this is session 7, I think. Yes, 7 of Band of Blades, Summer 25 game, although now it is autumn, both in game time and in our time. Um, Fantastic synchronicity. I didn't even plan for that. But here we are. You guys, Commander, you've selected Western Peak as the primary mission, if I remember correctly. And then did you do Screaming Tower as the secondary? So we have two recon missions on the table. We will play out Western Peak and then settle Screaming Tower with a engagement roll. And yeah, few boilerplate reminders. We have a lines and veils and safety tab. It is accessible via the game resources channel in the Discord. Um, Agenda for today, very simple. Get through the primary mission, possibly the secondary. We're not assaulting a infamous. So theoretically, this should run a little bit faster than Crimson Peak, but if we get most of the way through the primary mission, that's okay too. And if we have time at the end, maybe we'll go ahead and resolve the secondary mission. And last time I noticed I forgot to give you guys a second break, and we ran a little long. That's my biggity bad. So I will make sure this session to not do that and try and give you guys a second break. Because we're human beings with needs. The aims that I have for today, I want to explore the contrast between linear gameplay and open objectives. There's some advice about clock structure in the game that I really want to try and take to heart. I am an imperfect GM, and so that is something that is on my mind in terms of how to structure some of these missions, how to build an obstacle, when to use clocks, what clock size to use. And because of the structure of this mission, trying to not make it to where it's just keep rolling the same stat over and over and over again. Um, and find that sort of interactivity between what is an obstacle and what is clock progression, um, if that makes sense. So that's on my mind. I want to give a chance for Legionnaires to express their heritage traits, which is something I always want to do, but this is a reminder for myself, and also for you when you're playing characters. Check out their heritage traits. They're really fun. Um, and to learn about our Legionnaires through conflict and action. I do have another sort of unspoken mission aim, and I don't know how long. Call this more of a wish, I guess. I've been having just fantasy Mad Max on my mind, and so I think that might be what this mission shapes up like. We'll see. Kind of depends on a lot of things. Um, but that's kind of where my brain is at, just to give you a sort of preview. So. All that clear as mud. Let's kind of get into it. I don't think I think we can just get straight into well, Marshall, let's start out with who's going on the primary and secondary. Uh, just a reminder, recon suffers a one die penalty if they don't have a scout or a sniper on the team.
Yes. In that case, let's send our scout on the primary because we haven't seen them in active role play a lot yet. And if Mark's okay with it, I think our snipers may be going on the secondary. So that we have both covered, and they have the specialists needed.
Are there any other specialists going on either the primary or the secondary?
Let me check. Roll 20 is immediately trying to annoy me. Um, because I think people are still hurt, if I remember. Um, Are people still hurt? Wait, let me
There are
check.
some ouchies. Adramir has a
Yeah.
level 2, and Zaya has a lot going on.
Yeah, Zaya won't be on this mission though. I'm keeping our soldiers away so they can recover and we can get more soldiers. Because if we have two more, we have a squad full of them. Um, but yeah, let's bring our medic for ouchies.
Shinya is going on the primary.
Adramir is going on the primary.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Shinya is the
Shimiya
officer.
is the
So,
officer.
correct, correct.
I know that Shimiya can give a +2 engagement rolls, but if you do go on the mission, you will probably suffer harm, so I don't know if that's worth it for the role.
Yeah, that
There's
doesn't matter too much. There's what, one level 2 harm on Shimmy right now.
mhm.
Yeah, no, let's
Yes.
keep you home. Let's keep
But
you
it,
home.
but it's halfway healed, so that means if there's another level 2 harm and the rest of the way he heals, then they're both gone.
It is true. Yeah. If you get a 4 to 5 on the secondary mission and then it's healed, it'll
Hmm.
heal both. The level 2 harm that suffered will be healed when the lacerations is healed. So there is a little
That
room there. But
that
if
that
it's
is
a
it. I want to make sure I'm interpreting that correctly. Does that mean like if you're already partway through healing and get another injury, the healing stays?
uh my understanding is when the healing boxes are full, you clear the row. So if you do take another level 2 harm, even though you're halfway through healing it, it'll clear both of them.
And the box stays checked, even though you just got hit again.
Believe that is.
The box won't stay checked. The box is clear, but so does all of the healing.
Are you asking if the box is checked when you get a second harm?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it
Yes.
does.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, yeah, at least that's my understanding. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine with me. I'm no stickler for verisimilitude.
Um,
In that case, sure. I guess there's no need yet to play too defensively.
all right.
Don't say that
Shimya
out loud, Jesse.
going on the secondary. Now,
I'm
mind you,
gonna jinx us all.
if it's a miss, that's gonna be a little rough. And then I need a squad for each one, the primary and the secondary.
Yes, hold up, because I moved people around.
Yeah,
Ta ta ta.
Grinning Ravens are currently empty. The Star Vipers are where you're hiding your soldiers. You have some Ghost Owls. You have, I think the Ghost Owls are the only. Oh, we have one named person in the Ember Wolves. You have the Shattered Lions, and the Ghost Owls are the only ones with named people
Hmm.
currently. Um,
Yeah, let's send the ghost owls on the primary to
mhm.
get them some XP. Um, and hopefully get some soldiers. Phew, there's people are hurt in the Star Vipers though, but oh, yeah, no choices. Um,
If it's the secondary, you don't really have to stat and name them, but some of them may die, at which point I will want names.
that is true.
But we can also put that off for a little longer.
Yeah, let's send the Silver Stags and we'll figure out who they are. Um, if we do the roll and if some die.
Okay, Silver Stags. Fantastic. All right, let's assemble a. Oh, also, sorry, actually, who's playing who on the primary, Marshall? That's good information as well.
Yeah, I'm assuming Ben, you want to play Adramir
Sure,
if
yeah.
you're going on. Okay. I'll play our scout. Oh my God, roll 20. Silver Surging Tide. I've completely forgotten who I created. And then there are the rookies, and I'm fine if people want to pick whatever rookie speaks to them.
Yeah, I'm not particular. I'll take whoever's available.
We're bringing the Ghost Owl, so we have. This is the 5th time I have refreshed Roll20.
Oh,
This is
no.
going to go so well, guys. We
you have Kirish, who
Kirish.
is just a kid.
Oh yeah, I'll take them. I'll take him. I'll take
Crimson
him.
reaching. And is there anybody else who has like XP already on them and is like close to ranking up? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's just Kirish who we've played before, because other than that, we've played Zaya, but she's been gone off to be kept safe. And I don't think we've played any of the others. We saw briefly Crimson Reaching Flower. No, that's not true. I was about to lie.
I feel like we did see Crimson.
I
but don't know what the
I
context
think
was.
yeah, I think we saw her briefly in a scene with Count Therian, I believe.
Oh yeah. Was celebrating Farian's promotion.
Yes. And I think from the other ones that are available in the Ghost Owls, we haven't seen any. If you pick Nuri, you get to stat them out however you like, because I haven't done that yet.
I'm tempted to take Kirish again just because I like him, but
He's the only one that could promote, so that makes sense if somebody picks him.
if someone else wants to take him, I'm happy to. Maybe not Nuri, just because that's a little intimidating to start from scratch. But maybe Valentina or Crimson.
What about you, Mark? Do you have a preference? Do you want to play Kirish, or are you fine going with
Pick Kirish.
whomever?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark will pick Kirish, and then yeah, I'm fine if you want to choose between Valentina or Crimson.
I'll take Crimson. Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Cool. Go ahead and pick your load and your extra utility. Because this is a recon mission, if you take heavy load, if anybody takes heavy load, the engagement roll will suffer a 1 die penalty. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
And let me know when you're done.
I think I'm good.
All good.
Alrighty. And for the folks who haven't seen the ability yet, Just a Kid is when someone suffers harm protecting you, they mark XP. So great opportunity to do a get down, Mr. President type action if you want to get a little more XP. But you do have to take harm. And also, yes, Saya will hate you if Kirish dies.
I'm all done.
Yep. Okay. We got 1, 2. Benham, I think you said you were done. And Benaba. Are we good to go?
Yep.
All righty. Let me pull up my engagement roll. All right. Assemble the engagement roll by asking the following. Marshall, are all on the oath sworn, are all on the mission oath sworn to the Legion? That's actually a negative because you have some merchants that you are escorting this time around. So you will not take that first die. Intel, did the commander spend 1 intel to give you foresight and info? You have no intel to spend. So that's a negative. Is everyone on the mission a specialist or a soldier? That's a negative. You have rookies on the mission. Does any soldier distrust leadership or not fear them enough to obey orders on the battlefield? I do not think that is true. The only that would be have to be like Ritter and one of our soldiers. I think Farian. And that is not currently the situation. They are not here. And are required specialist equipment not on the mission? You have the required specialists, and there is no specific equipment, so you do not lose a die. This is a scouting mission. So we ask the quartermaster, did you spend horses to equip the mission? And I believe you did.
I did, yes.
Awesome. So you have a 1 die engagement roll for our primary, and you are in a desperate position when the action starts. Let's go ahead and just take a quick little 5 here while I get things set up. And actually, before we take a break really quickly, before we get into the action set piece, there is a paint the scene that I wanted to do regardless of the action roll. So the way this is, you have a merchant caravan. There is a covered wagon in the front, a stagecoach in the middle with some people, your VIPs, and then a wagon behind them. So 3 vehicles. The mission effectively is to escort them to Westlake. This is a mission that's probably going to take roughly about a week each direction. Your task, because this is an intel, a scouting mission, is to effectively assess the threat of bandits and undead along the southern pass and look for possible alternative routes. And if you accomplish that, then the mission will be seen as a success. But really, you're kind of here to help get these merchants to Westlake. And if you do so, they will provide you with either 1 asset, which Quartermaster knows what that means. That's a few different things you could choose from. Or troops, which means up to 5 rookies that you can hire while you are there in Westlake and bring them back. So that's what's here. That's what's at stake. But I want to do a little bit of world building here. So we use a calendar in this game called OEF, the Old Empire's founding. 0 OEF was when the Old Empire was founded. The Legion in somewhere in the 400s, which I can pull up, or if you look at the timeline handout, the Legion was founded in 422 and was founded as an arm, a military arm of the Empire, specifically to combat supernatural threats. Or impossible threats, things that, your average Shakespearean second spear from the left couldn't exactly deal with. When the Empire collapsed in 566, the Legion was reformed as a mercenary unit and has existed in that form ever since. One of the reasons the Aldermani don't like the Legion is because they represent the Old Empire. But there's not a lot of details on the Old Empire. You are on and going to be on, for the most of this journey, the Old Empire Road that was established over 400 years ago. Now, the old empire collapsed over 300 years ago because it is currently like 860, 870. Oh, yeah, 848. It is currently 848 OEF. But over the course of 400 years, this road has now been just totally lacking in maintenance. Nobody has taken it up. There are going to be chunks of this track where there is no functional road, and it's not quite bushwhacking because people go from Westlake to Plainsworth. But there's still evidence of this empire that existed long before you. So all of that is a big setup for the following. Paint the scene. Do you believe that the old empire was a beacon of light, civilization, and learning that drew the best of the kingdoms together and through collaboration achieved great things that no singular culture could accomplish on its own? If so, what remnants do you see during your travels that remind you of how far the world has fallen since the empire's collapse? Or do you believe that the old empire was a tyrannical force, stamping out individual cultures in the name of unity? If so, what remnants of the old empire still cling to the landscape, which remind us of its paranoia, oppression, and oversight? And now we'll go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I'll let you guys think about that while I set up our situation here. So go ahead and pause. All right, so I gave you guys a paint the scene question. It's a big one, but fortunately you only have to answer one or the other. But I'd love to hear your responses, so whoever wants to go.
I can go. Adramir does believe, despite everything, that the old empire must have been a beacon of light and learning. And we see it today, not so much in any physical leavings, but in the Legion, made up of so many cultures, each of them still holding their own traditions and beliefs, working as a unit despite their differences. That could have only come from a civilization that fostered such a thing.
Kirsch also believes the old empire is a beacon of light, civilization, and learning, and is distraught at the knowledge lost. I think the remnants that we see in our travels are, I'm sure we pass monuments or some other edifices that have fallen into disrepair or have been purposely defaced or fallen apart, and just real sad about the knowledge that was lost.
I think by contrast, Crimson feels the opposite, that the old empire was a tyrannical force, and that the cities and encampments that popped up across the land were constructed with little respect to whoever was already there and the way that the land should be respected. And you still see this in the walls that bisect forests and dam rivers where they should have flowed.
Yeah, I think similarly, Silver feels the same way. That a lot of these cultures were watered down to be like more palatable to each other. And I think we can see that and I think because it's been like a while ago, I think some of these like practices have actually been adopted as if they were the original practice, like it's just now how we do these things, but it didn't used to be. And I think we can see that I think maybe among like the ruins or something like that is um, what would have once adorned a giant gate or some architectural scene of grandeur. And I think it is what seems to be our Penier like imagery, but the little pieces of colors, which by now has probably changed because of the elements, but the original color, I think, wasn't the right color, which is so important to them. but it was like one of those things where, I don't know, like the color green had a different connotation to the Empire than it did to the Panyar. So they colored it red because that was the color connotation that made sense in their minds, even though to a Panyar, like that would have completely made no sense. And it would have completely changed the message that this thing was trying to send.
Incredible. Fantastic. Thank you all for your responses. So, when we cut into the ghost owls and our scout and medic, we see you guys on one of the few still standing structures of the old empire, a bridge that crossed just a naturally occurring gap or ravine. This bridge is probably, 50 feet tall. Actually, probably no. Let's make it bigger. It's 100 feet tall. This ravine is if you fall into it, it won't end well. But it will be an ending. Uh, and a testament to the old empire's construction techniques is that this bridge is still standing, despite people using it for 400 years. And there might be a little it might be a little testy. It might be a little scary to go walking across this stone bridge, but it's still there. It's wide enough for probably about 2 carts to cross abreast of each other. It's probably about 150, 200 feet long. Um, and where we find the Legion, and rather these 2 wagons and coach, is on this bridge. The problem is that you're in bandit country. And at the far end of this bridge, as you started crossing it, some people on horses appeared. And just as it became clear that they were people of perhaps ill intent, another group of them appeared behind you and behind the wagons, cutting off any hope of, let's just turn around and go another way. And let's say there are probably 5 of them in front of you and another 5 to 7 at the back end of the bridge, and you're stuck here in the middle of them. And their leader says, "Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're just in time to hand over the toll. Turns out there's bandits in these parts. And we're doing you all a favor by keeping them off your tail and your trail. Now, if you'll just hand over all of your goodies and let us go ahead and filch through your wagons and see if you can go ahead and donate anything to our good and fair cause, we'll let you be on your way. How's that sound?"
Adramir is going to hold up his left hand with the holy symbol of mercy wrapped around it and say, "We are on a humanitarian quest. You wouldn't interrupt such a noble pursuit, would you?"
No, of course. But you see, we'll make sure that you, my good friend, are untouched. You wouldn't want any of these horrible bandits to perhaps ignore that sign and come and, well, let accidents happen. Now, don't worry, we don't plan on harming any of you. We just would like some donations to help the cause.
Think Silver, because I see that Scout says search for weaknesses or exploits. So I think as Adramir is maybe giving us some time by negotiating or talking to these people, could I be looking if there's like something that we can exploit here to try and get out? Because we'd still have to get to them. to give them our stuff, right?
Yeah, sure. Spot weaknesses or exploits if there are any to be seen. Sure. This sounds like a, yeah, if you want to roll scout, you are in a desperate position, because of the framing of the engagement roll.
That's okay. I'm a daredevil. I get 1d6 extra if it's a desperate position.
Well, fantastic. Cool. So you have a scout. This sounds like a scout roll. This might be a setup. Not necessarily. The engagement roll, to answer the question in chat, the engagement roll only sets the starting position and sort of this framework. Once you are out of here, once you deal with this situation, we rely on the fiction. And if the way that you leave the fiction, this scene, keeps you in a desperate position, then you're still desperate. But yeah, so long as you are in this sort of situation, you will be getting XP on every roll. Yeah. But yeah, you probably won't be in a desperate position once you deal with these guys. Anyway, back to Silver. This sounds like it might be a setup. If you are looking for weaknesses, yeah, this sounds like a setup roll. Which means you can improve your position or you can increase the effect of anyone who uses this information, because it is information you're seeking, right? You're not actually acting on that information. Yes?
Not yet, not yet. I think maybe like what's happening is Adramir is talking to them. I'm searching for basically some sort of plan, and then the both of us are going to like either pretend to give in or do whatever, depending on what weaknesses
Sure.
there are.
If I tell you that I don't have anything particular in mind, tell me what it is that you're searching for or what it is that you're hoping to find. Something a little more specific than a weakness. Yeah.
Yeah, two things, I think. One is if this is a rickety old bridge, once we have crossed this, could we make it unusable for the other guys to follow us, either forever or temporary? And second, I think a weakness in the sense of is there an escape route or is like the ground under their feet unstable so that once we get there, we could, sort of get them in a desperate position while we get the hell out of there. Basically, they outnumber us right now, so I want to even the playing field with whatever natural resources are at our disposal.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do. I almost wonder if this is actually a fortune roll. But let's engage in the mechanics of the game. Let's call this a desperate position. I think you're still in standard effect, because we would start at risky standard. And you're at 4 dice already. You can push for additional effect or one additional die. You can look for a devil's bargain if you like. Or you can just roll with what you got.
I'm fine with rolling with what I've got. I think, yeah, this is more a setup thing, so we can wait.
Before things get spicy. Cool. Partial success. So you succeed, but there are consequences. Funny enough, setups are one of the harder things to do consequences for. Yeah. So I think one of the things that you offered was like a possibility to like collapse the bridge.
Mhm.
You find that somebody, possibly these bandits, possibly other people, have actually rigged explosives in the primary load bearing support. Your complication is going to be that I think we follow your eyes and we see that there is how would you detonate explosives in a dark fantasy world? Or how would you know that the bandits? Oh, so like off to one side, they're the bandits at each side of the bridge. You find one other bandit who is clearly a sharpshooter. What marks him as a sharpshooter? Silver. Um, like what's just a fancy
Mhm.
posh piece of either like clothing or insignia that like marks him as like this is their best shot.
Yeah, I think it's actually like what catches my eye is like a glint in the sunlight. And I think we see that he does have like one of those like muskets, that'll only fire once, but there's actually like a scope on it. And the fact that they gave like something so fancy that only has one shot reasonably, like reliably, and they gave it to someone that far away must mean that they trust him to make that shot.
Sure. Um, so yeah, you can resist that consequence. Uh,
Sure.
oh gosh, what would resisting the consequence of there being a person there uh look like? I
Could
think
I,
just in
because I
fiction, does
spotted them, could I maybe then like blind him so he can't make the shot in like a subtle way?
sure, yeah, I love that. Fantastic. Uh yeah. That sounds like a um prowess resist.
Could I argue for insight? Because this
Yeah,
is
I
like a
mean, this
battle
is
of wits.
yeah, this is a scout thing. Yeah, I can see insight.
Okay. Uh, One bonus dice. 5. So I mark 1 stress.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, how do you blind him? Just pull out a mirror and just like flash him or something else?
I think it's even more subtle than that. I think it's just like as Adramir is talking and you are like holding up this reliquary, I think maybe it's like we kind of exchange a glance and I like tilt my head, which I've been doing sort of the whole time, so it wouldn't look out of character. But there's a way that I do it that I think tips Adramir off that there is someone there, and maybe you just like tilt it ever so slightly following my direction, and the sunlight glinting off this holy symbol of mercy goes right into the sniper's eyes.
Fantastic. So yeah, the bandits at the end of the road, at each end of the road, don't know that uh their extra way of coercing you to cooperate is currently out of commission. So you have that advantage. And that's something that I guess you can pocket for um probably either great effect, depends on how you leverage it. But yeah. Um cool. Kirsch, our other rookie appears to be out. How the rookie's feeling right now with this situation?
Very, very uneasy. I do not like this situation. And I'm hoping, I'm not assuming, but hoping that our specialists have a good plan to get us out of this. But right now, just kind of like ready to. I think reactive is the like they don't know what to do.
Okay,
Just like
cool.
waiting for a lead to follow.
Cool. Let's see. Do we have any particularly skittish rookies that I can sort of
I think Valentina's your girl in that regard.
okay. Um yeah, Kirish or Crimson, since you're back, Ben. The rookies are trying to keep it together. But they've got hands on muskets, and I think Valentina goes to like lift up her gun. If she opens fire, the bandits are going to open fire. either of you, what do you want to do?
I think Crimson is deeply unsettled by the situation. I think she knew not. She didn't 100% trust that this would be as simple as perhaps the specialists made it sound, in terms of just a quick little escort, for some merchants who needed our help. No, she knows well enough to know that that's not super likely. And I think although she's unsettled, has kept her cool enough to maybe see what her comrade is about to do, and maybe puts a hand out just on Valentina's shoulder as if to stay her arm.
Okay.
I think if close enough, Kira's just like, they said they're not going to hurt us. Just relax.
Okay. Um, I'm probably going to need a roll from somebody, but yeah, I think you're both clear that as long as one of you rolls, the other can assist, if you'd like. Um, almost anything works here of the social actions, consort, sway, discipline. Maybe not martial necessarily, but
I've got 2 in consort. I could roll for that.
It's better than I have. I have a 1 in both concert and sway, so either way.
Do you want to throw stress in to help?
Sure. Mark 2 stress for you to, or 1 stress.
it's 1 stress if you're helping.
Yeah, got it. I'll help. Yeah.
All right, cool. I will roll. Yeah, I think 3 should be fine. And this is desperate or risky?
By the terms of the engagement role, you are in a desperate position.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is desperate, and I think like, yeah, you catch her like as she is like lifting the rifle up. Um, this might not be as calm as just like a gentle hand on the shoulder. This might be a like, grab the gun type situation. But I'll let consort fly for this. So desperate, standard, uh,
And 1 die for helping.
and plus 1 dice for help. You can suffer a bad outcome.
Yep, I can do
What
that.
you can do. Well, okay. Um, I think let's just ride this. Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think Valentina, uh, I think we hear her like shout, "I'm not gonna fucking die today." And shoulders her rifle, and like as what we see is the two of you, Kirish and Crimson, like reaching out to like try and stop her, and this shot just goes, and we hear the echo across the valley. And to her credit, because you guys are legionnaires, I think one of the 5 bandits there on the far side goes falling off their horse. It's a good shot, for a reflex shot, no aiming. Go girl. Uh,
Resist that.
yeah, that I think is a thing you can resist.
All right.
And what does that look like? Because it's not going to change the fiction. I think a simple, like, you just grab the gun and you pull it off to the side.
Or like, actually, like when I see that she's going to pull the trigger, just like body checking her, like, oh no, we're not. Like,
Sure.
you are not doing that. Which feels like it takes it to prowess. I'm doing that, right?
Yeah, I could see prowess.
Okay. It was dice. Okay, 1 stress.
All right. Yeah, so check with me on the fiction. Does the gunshot still go off but go wide, or do you get her before the
I think I knocked the gun out of her hand before she gets to fire.
Cool.
But she still had to like raise it and was ready. And then
Yeah.
I think both of us go to the ground.
Fantastic.
But
the good news is the situation is still really rough, And uh I think at this point I'm just going to advance the bandits and push them sort of forward a little bit here, and say that the group at the front of the bridge ahead of you has begun moving towards you and is fully intending to. They have single shot pistols, flintlock pistols, and they've got them uh trained on you guys. But they are going to start heading towards that front wagon with the intent to loot it. Um,
I have a crazy idea. I don't overdo crazy ideas.
But what is it?
So, hold on. I have a climbing kit. What if because we know that the bridge can be fucked with. What if we try to make the guy take the shot and then like we do sort of that classic Indiana Jones bit where the bridge goes like smack against a wall. They fall off, but we secure with the kids that we have. Try to like
Secure the
get
carts?
there.
Like
Yeah.
everything we
And like
had?
pull it up.
Oh God. I love crazy ideas, but that's crazy.
yeah, that a climbing kit to me is not
That's
made to
true. I forgot we
carry
had really big
horses
carts.
and yeah, two wagons and a coach.
I
Um,
forgot we had those. I thought it was just us. Okay.
but now that you know that there are explosives under the bridge, if you try to do a controlled demolition, only the section at the front, now that the bandits have stepped onto the bridge, you might be able to collapse the bridge under that group and take out the whole front group. It means you'll have to go back through the bandits behind you, who will definitely be hostile, but you will eliminate one group, which I think was your original intention, Jazzy.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of adheres to the spirit of what you were going for, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Does that all make sense, by the way? Does it, are we, are we kind of understanding what the fiction is here?
More or
Yeah.
less, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's demolition charges, so it's a arch style bridge. So there are several columns going. If there's column, 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 they are at the farthest column, and if you just collapse that one, that chunk of bridge goes down and bandits on top of it with them, leaving the rest of the bridge standing. Theoretically,
But how do we then get across?
you go backwards.
We have to find another way.
The long way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do do we want to do the long way around though?
Are there explosives
Yeah.
on both sides of the bridge or just the one side?
There
They're
is
flanking us, right?
yeah, so there are bandits flanking you, and from what I told Silver, there are explosives in like each column.
Mhm.
But I think you can detonate them separately, though that is definitely not going to be. These are jerry-rigged demo, this is the cartoon TNT like wrapped around, giant stone columns. Can you really control that detonation? How confident are you? That's just an option, by the way. That's not me telling you, I'm just trying to
Mhm.
ride with what you guys have been sort of going for in the spirit of, your idea.
Yeah. I'm just not very good at any fighting thing related, so I was trying to get something to do with maneuver, to like
Hmm.
get us into a position where we could at least get through like one of the groups.
This is also a crazy idea, but maybe less crazy than exploding the bridge is uh how many horses do we have?
You all have horses. You are all equipped on you. The quartermaster spent horses. You
Right.
have you have each of you has a horse.
How well trained are horses? I don't know how they work. Can we like
Charge.
try and at least, yeah, get them to charge or trample the ones in front of us faster than we would get shot down?
You can certainly try. There's a squad of rookies. If you want to just barrel through and have it go,
Could we combine sort of the two plans? Like we're barreling through at the same time, We're making this
Setting off
bridge
the explosives behind
unstable
us. Action
so
movie
that,
style.
yeah, exactly, action movie style, so that we can get through there. But hopefully, like, since we're going just past them, through them, the plan is like we get there, and while they're getting their bearings, getting like fucking trampled by horses, there's a lot of them on the bridge, and we hope to just kill most of them. Does that
Sure.
make sense? Yeah.
Is that what everybody is down for?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do action movie shit.
Why not?
All right, action movie shit. Let's talk about possible ways to resolve this mechanically. So there are two items that I see going on. You want to charge through the bandits at the front, while essentially weathering a volley of gunfire. Once past them, because you have to be off the bridge to set off the explosives under the bridge, you want to probably like turn around and do like some kind of snapshot kind of shit to set off the explosives. So, does that all sound about right? Cool. I can see maneuver working here, like a group group maneuver, or skirmish would be like the sort of brute force, like we're just going to, we're going to handle this like a fucking charge on a tourney field. um I can see a group skirmish. I could see group maneuver. I think those are the ones that stick out to me, but I'm open to hearing other ideas. If somebody wants to try and like lead a charge without using the group, because if it's a group maneuver, everybody's going to roll, including the merchants. Because they have to get across as well. They have one die for everything they do.
I have 2 in maneuver and nothing in skirmish. Oh
Same.
no, 1 in skirmish.
But the rookies all roll together, right? So
The rookies, yeah, the way I understand rookie rolling is between Kirish and Crimson, the better of you rolls for the squad.
yeah, I do have
And
2 in maneuver.
sounding like a group maneuver. Who is leading this charge? Is it going to be Crimson reaching flower?
Um,
Or is Silver surging tide?
I
maybe
can
it'll
lead.
be. Uh,
I'm also fine if Crimson wants to. Maybe like given the situation with the rookies, that there's just like an unofficial like we need to fucking go because Valentina's about to snap.
maybe I think hearing, understanding that this is about to go to shit, if something isn't done about the situation right away, probably the rookies are the most attuned to it, and Kirsch probably isn't going to lead a charge, so Crimson is likely to step up.
One of you volunteer.
Most comfortable for me, but she'll do it.
Silver or Crimson, one of you volunteer. Who's leading? Tell me.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Crimson
awesome.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I just mean Crimson isn't the most comfortable leading, but she's much more comfortable with charging than doing nothing, because
Well,
it could be worse.
you're being played, so the spotlight is on you, and you get to have the action movie moment. Um,
Absolutely.
what does like rallying the squad like? Do you shout anything? Do you like?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. So did Valentina? She did shoot, right? Because we did not stop her.
My understanding is that like the gun was caught like last second.
Yeah, we should kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
very, very, very much last second. I think like she probably got as far as even like finger on the trigger, about to shoot. And I think seeing her like tremble, it was just like a moment of quiet. And then this is a coordinated group effort. So I think maybe while Adramir was still up front, keeping the attention of the face bandit, um, Crimson makes eye contact with Silver and like nods her head at the down to the horses, and with that quick little signal. I think it's not a sound or not a word, not a command, just a yell. Just lets out like a full on
Nice.
yeah, rally the
Fantastic.
rookies.
Fantastic war cry. Zora would be proud. Um, but Zora's not here. Nor is she with your legion. We don't know where Zora is. But yeah. Everyone kind of has to participate if you all want to make it off the bridge. So Kirish, Crimson's rolling for you because you're part of the scout, the squad. But Silver, Adramir, Crimson, and actually, Mark, I'll have you roll for the merchants. It's going to be just a one die. You can just do slash one dr one, yeah. So wait, slash r 1d6. I know how to do English in code. But yeah, go ahead, and it's going to be desperate. So everybody go ahead and uh desperate standard, um maneuver. uh I don't know if there's room for devil's bargains here. It's a group action, so there's no assisting really going on. uh and I guess kind of go for it. We have a 6 on the board. That's great.
Yeah, I already rolled some.
And we have another 6 on the board. Did anybody roll under under 4? Does not look like that is the case. You guys are getting those lucky little one. But fantastic. So yeah, uh, Crimson take the fiction. You guys, you're gonna blow past them. But yeah, uh, you have to like suffer a few gunshots, but these are old pistols. They're not exactly accurate. But yeah, what does this look like? What does this feel like? Give us the moment.
I think Crimson and a couple of the other rookies, along with probably Adramir, swept up in the front of the charge, um, just rocket forwards, knocking past the bandit who was trying to threaten slash negotiate with um, some of the other rookies taking a spot behind the merchants to sort of help push them forward, given that they have the greatest burden to charge with. These carts being pulled by the horses, it's going to be a little more difficult. And so sort of escorting them along and off the bridge. I'm imagining, if this is okay with you, Jazzy, that Silver was probably the one competent enough to figure out how to set off the explosives. Crimson was more just like, we got to do something and we got to do something now. But how exactly the destroying the bridge seems like a specialist task. And so probably, okay, is that going to be a separate piece?
Yeah,
It's
that's
not part of
that's gonna
this
be what
maneuver.
that's what we're
Great.
gonna do next.
Perfect. So maybe there's like a couple of folks still lingering at the edge of the bridge while the rookies and merchants push as quickly as they can away.
Fantastic. Now, Silver, you know these explosives exist. I don't mind you being able to communicate this quickly and easily. You guys are a military company. There might even be like either hand signals or shorthand mail code for explosives under the bridge. But somebody has to take the shot. You've mentioned you don't have any in
It's
shooting.
not me.
Um,
I don't know if anybody has anything in shoot.
I have one.
Nada.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking if there's a possibility for a flashback to get something with a rig, but that would also just be the one, so it wouldn't really matter.
Um, I mean, a flashback to set up like a remote detonator just in the possibility that there would be explosive on this bridge, that feels,
More like, I was thinking more like we knew that we would have to cross this bridge, right? Because I'm assuming like given that there's a
oh,
bridge that usually kind of means that there's no other
yeah.
way, or like maybe Merchant mentioned that like these bridges are usually right? Like this wasn't necessarily a surprise that
Yeah.
we got. Like I was thinking more of it in that way, not like I have a remote detonator for every bitch just in case.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you hoping to achieve with this flashback then? Help me out.
Yeah, I think something maybe like rather than like a remote detonator, I brought something that has like a wider explosive range. So like the shot doesn't need to be super precise to set this up. Like if we can just like get something close enough, that's gonna set up like some sort of reaction.
Ah, the problem is the Legion currently doesn't have any siege weapons.
Hmm.
Um, Otherwise, I could see that.
That's fair. We can just go with shoot. It would be the
Yeah.
same amount of die rolls anyway.
Yeah. And you did do this setup action earlier, and I want to honor the mechanics of that. So yeah. I should say you don't have to set off these explosives if you don't want to. It's just that sounded like that was part of the plan. But if you just want to ride through, you could do that too. You will just have more bandits to deal with, which you might anyways. Those are only the ones I told you about. There might certainly be others. Um, but if somebody wants to shoot for those explosives, now's your chance. And with like a push or a devil's bargain and a setup that we already have.
I mean, if I'm the only one with any points in shoot, I can take that. I'm okay putting Crimson in danger.
Sure. Um,
But only if that's something that folks think makes sense.
sure. Let's go for it. So Silver, yeah, you point out the explosives under the bridge. I don't think you need to ride far. You just need to, like, if the bridge is going straight, you need to get a little offline of it to get a good angle to shoot down. Um, but I think doing so, you're going to expose yourself to, retaliatory fire from the bandits that are now 10 of them, 10 to 12 of them on this bridge. Uh, so, yeah, it looks like we're lining up a shoot. Also, I guess wreck might apply here, or yeah. But
Not
let's
better
go.
for me, but maybe someone else could.
I was just thinking wreck is like our destroy stuff. But let's call it shoot. Um, you're in desperate position. The setup action either gives you +1 effect level or improved position. And I think I don't know what the difference between standard and great would be here. Maybe great will take out all of the bandits. Sure, let's say that for now. Why not?
Go for increased effect, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, at standard it would only be some bandits. Also, you could pull it back to a controlled position if you want, using, that manipulation. But right now I think you're at desperate great. Um, or you can be at controlled standard. But desperate great will take out all the bandits there on the bridge.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. Uh, you're rolling shoot. Does anybody want to? I guess people could be in position to provide some kind of assistance, but just tell me how.
I mean, I could throw in a stress by like seeing what's going on and just providing cover fire, so you have a breath to aim.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Fantastic. Mark off 1 stress and 1 ammo, and I will let you provide an additional 1 die for Crimson Reaching Flower. You can also, Crimson, you can also push for an additional die. That's 2 stress. Or you can accept the Devil's Bargain if you would like to hear any.
Sure.
Uh, I have kind of an easy devil's bargain of Breaker will make her presence known at a point of my choosing.
Ooh,
Not sorry, let me be more specific. Breaker herself is not going to show up, but her reach is pretty great, and you will I will introduce a follow-up threat at a time of my choosing.
Like,
Also, just for clarification, like what would be considered the fail state if it's like one of the merchants dies or the supplies are not
Uh
doesn't
sure.
don't reach a location, or like what would be considered like the bad outcome just for like future devil's bargains.
Oh, I think in this case, for this specific role, because the bandits are armed with guns and shooting at Crimson, Crimson and Kirish could take hits here. Um,
is the fail state just not setting off the explosives here, or is that
or do you
No,
mean
I
for the
mean
whole
for like
mission? Yeah, for the
the
mission as a
mission
whole.
as a general,
oh,
because I don't
oh,
want to be like, oh, the I present you a devil's bargain
I
of
got it?
one of the merchants dies,
got it, got
and
it,
then
got
at
it.
the end
Right.
of it's like, oh, if one of the merchants dies, we consider this mission failed, and then we kind of failed it by accident. Sorry, on accident.
Yes, I would say that like if the merchants die, that is a uh one of at least one of the rewards will be taken away. So like there's an asset or troop reward if there are no merchants to make it to Westlake, then there's no one to give you that reward. The intel is more about sort of mapping the routes and testing the defenses of these bandits, or learning what the strength of the bandits is. So the fail state there is more that you kind of just give up and go back to camp without making it to Westlake, or maybe you run out of supplies and decide that you have to go back. Um, yeah, that's yes, that sounds correct to me. Does that all make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Fantastic. Um, so yeah, if you want to say the tail wagon gets caught in the blast and you lose some of your supplies, maybe they were holding onto your camping supplies. Um, that's where you were storing your food and tents and sleeping bags rather than carrying them, because why would you carry them when you have a cart? That would be an interesting devil's bargain, and then we could do like a campfire or camping foraging kind of thing. um so yeah, I'll put that on there as a devil's bargain. um
I think I'd rather take that than take another threat from Breaker at an unidentified period, because we'll encounter a threat from Breaker regardless at some point. Maybe not right now.
okay,
It's inevitable. We're gonna see it. The question is just when, and I'd rather not make that sooner.
sure, all right.
Right. Okay, so
So
two bonus dice right now.
yes, and I
Uh,
think that's what you get.
unless I want to push. No, I'll leave it, I think. Okay.
Okay, three's good. I mean, you're looking for six high,
Okay.
and there it is, six high. Fantastic.
Well,
Crimson, you're getting a lot of, although, Kirish, I want to give you some narration time. So like you said, you were providing covering fire.
Yeah.
So tell me how you set up Crimson for success in a way that like Crimson wouldn't have had this opportunity had you not been there.
Yeah, I mean, if the we're charging through, and the bandits do not want that, they will naturally shoot back at us. I think the covering fire is there to make them kind of take defensive positions, like behind parts of the bridge or behind whatever they have there. It's to give like a moment before they start shooting. And if I had not been pew pew pew, they would just stand there and open fire at us.
Fantastic. And Ben had to step away for a second, so I think I'll take the narration, and it's very simple. We see Crimson take the shot, and big giant explosion. Although I don't know if it's like we're going full Michael Bay. I think The explosions are maybe a little smaller than Michael Bay, but we see this bridge just finally, after 400 years of, 400, 500, 600 years of putting in good work, we just see stones collapsing into this valley, and along with it, bandits and horses, one of which doing their best Wilhelm scream along the way.
Good riddance to another vestige of the Empire.
Oh, no. Oh, dare.
Just raises a cup.
Oh, no. Here's an interesting question, though. If that was the route across this ravine, if that was the primary route, and I like what Jazzy said, I think that's actually very smart. This was probably a landmark on your map of like, here is a way to get this. I think now I'm gonna amend that devil's bargain slightly and say you now have a slightly new task of people need to still get across, this ravine. What is the new option? Ugh. Now, mind you, I'm not particularly interested in like the full definition of this ravine. This ravine can be whatever narratively it needs to be to answer that question, other than, oh, we just go, down 100 yards and
I imagine there's like switchbacks that like they are unsafe and longer that just like
mhm.
go back and forth around and then down and then back up. And it adds an awful lot of time and risk to anyone crossing.
Sure. That gets us out of the opening position, so we are no longer in a desperate position. But let's just have this moment of everyone on the far side of the bridge. Um, uh, the wagon in the rear probably had a little bit of fire on it that had to be put out. The horse is spooked, but I'm not particularly interested in like, putting that into roles and stuff. You guys calm the horse and you get your bearings, but when all things are settled and the dust is settled and you get a chance to take your bearings, you realize your camping supplies were in there. And have been effectively destroyed along with uh, several days of food. Um, let's just have that moment with all of you.
What a waste. He'll say as he looks down at the new gap in the bridge, or where the bridge had been.
I think Crimson probably makes her way out from the viewpoint from which he took the shot, and is remorseful. I think approaches the specialists who were leading this mission, and maybe a little bit away from Valentina, and says, "I'm sorry, but something had to be done."
Kirsch's main worry right now is that there are more of them that weren't on the bridge, and it's kind of like sweeping, like sweeping the area we're moving towards or to the sides of us to see if we've trapped ourselves against the ravine.
You do notice a raven watching you guys, Kirish, from the trees. And I think like we see your gun like point over at it and it fluffs up its feathers.
We don't like birds right now.
We do not.
We do not.
Someone kill that thing.
I will kill it.
You just see this explosion of black feathers and two other crows or ravens go off to the west. One of you might swear you hear thunder in the distance, but that's you've been hearing thunder for so long. It's back, it's white noise at this point.
Because we need to calm the horses down a little bit.
And then we need to get moving before those report back.
I'll
There's
find a
always the
new
bandits are
way.
human.
And I think Silver will just stare at Crimson reaching flower for like just a beat too long, like that space where it gets like uncomfortable. But I don't think she means for it to uncomfortable. I think she means for it to basically be like a good job. I don't know if that comes across, but she'll kind of like head tilted, like these white owl-like eyes unblinking, just staring. And then her head pops back and she skitters off into the forest.
So if the horses are calm and the cart is no longer on fire, once we have an idea of what we have left and what we've lost, it's time to keep moving.
So you have lost your camping stuff. Also, I want to acknowledge Silver looking for, an alternate route because you guys will have to come back this way. It might be a good idea to know what that's gonna look like. Um, I don't know if I'm particularly interested in like what could go wrong. Well, I guess it could take time. I guess that's the question of what's at stake here is how long does it take you to find an alternate route? So Silver, let's put you in a uh I don't I guess risky because again, the risk is not immediate, but you are risking time.
Mm-hmm.
Um Standard effect is all we need here. So let's call it a risky standard. This sounds like a scout roll.
Mm-hmm.
I
Sounds
could
like it to me too.
I could also buy research or, but
Yeah.
scout's the sort of
Um,
brute force, I think.
could I, because we will need a place to camp that is like safer because we don't have our stuff. I was kind of setting it up to basically look for that. Could we combine that in
Oh,
a roll, or should that be two rolls, or should that be my scrounge shoes?
I was thinking the role would be to make sure that you guys had a path back and,
Hmm.
if people wanted to continue using this path to know like what's the new route.
Right.
Um, I'm fine with scrounge being used to find you guys camping and how many uses of scrounge do you have?
Only the one.
Ooh, only the
While on a mission, you may spend scrounge uses to find a safe and secure shelter or one load of supplies for everyone in your squad.
right. Um, in my head, these were two different things. One,
Hmm.
looking for the route, looking for a new route. You'll want to know that what that is on the way back home. Um, and B or two, um, finding camping and supplies to get you through this night. Is there a way to combine them?
It's mostly because I think it would be boring if I roll like two scouts back to back.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe other people have other solutions for the camping that it doesn't have to be scout and it doesn't have to be silver. That also works. I just would like, I have no idea what it would be if it's not just finding a natural place to keep it safe, but maybe someone can like marshal or consort or whatever into the supplies that we need.
And what's the consequence if we fail the like camping roll?
Uh, Again, I think the one that comes to mind is time for me. I don't really have a clock started, but maybe I should start one. Um, yeah, let's
Yeah.
use the tools at our disposal. I'm going to start a 4 o'clock.
Feels like that one might not to hurt us more, but I feel like that might be more like a morale hit. Like instead of like camping, we're like sleeping on the ground and having to scrounge for supplies. And
Yeah, I just don't know how to mechanically turn that into feedback other than like level 1 harm.
Or stress. Everybody takes stress.
Uh,
I don't know how harsh a consequence that is. I do not understand how these things lead into each
yeah.
other.
Similarly, like the game doesn't normally have me inflict stress. Stress is normally like if you wanted to resist the harm,
Hmm.
then I
Mm.
think that's where that comes into
Right.
play. And the resist in this case wouldn't be like it's not like a CFB thing where we change the fiction. It's you're really just like, muscling your way through it.
Mhm.
But if you want to spend that one use of scrounge, yeah, I'll let you guys uh have at least this one night of camping. Let's go ahead and take another 5 minute break here. And I'm gonna set up like the second leg of this journey and try and do maybe like a racing clock type situation where we do maybe just like a maneuver check and or maneuver scout or whatever it you guys think would get you through. Um and we'll sort of like do it in a sort of like day by day basis, but scrounge will effectively like remove the consequences from, let you take one roll just automatically, and just kind of see how it goes. So give me about 5 minutes to kind of set something up, and we'll come back and see what we got. And it's not even on recording. Fantastic. All right. So I put a little stuff in the in roll 20 here on the lower half of this mission phase. I don't know how much of it's going to be useful. But I think the way that we can look at this is a journeying phase or a journeying clock. And effectively you do things and we tick up that clock. And I also have a 4 clock here because the 6 clocks haven't been getting filled, and I want to have that element of risk and danger. If this 4 clock is filled up, more bandits will indeed have found you and will begin a more active pursuit. You are 1 squad and 3 largely helpless wagons, so it is safe to assume you will be outnumbered and outgunned. That doesn't mean you cannot continue to do things to outrun them or, whatever. We'll deal with that problem if it ever becomes one. But I want to give you guys a little bit of narrative authority here on what this journey looks like. Sunstrider Camp to Westlake is, like I said, there was a main road through here at one point. We can have small villages, we can have ruins, we can have different things. You kind of have the authority here. Or I can throw obstacles in your path and you tell me how you want to negotiate them. But I do also want to make sure that people do get spotlight time. So for the use of this scrounge, Jazzy, if you could give me just a fortune roll for based on your scouts. So I think that's 3 dice. And what we're going to do is say that on a 1 to 3, you tick 1 clock on the journey clock. On a 4 to 5, it's 2 ticks. And on a 6, it's 3 ticks on the journey clock. There's no consequence to this, which is why it's a fortune roll and not a risk roll. This is just something that you get essentially for free for marking scrounge. Does that sound fair?
Yes, I rolled and it's a critical.
Come the fuck on.
That's
I
what
will.
you get. I gave you a 1 and you weren't happy with it, so
So for a critical, I
no
will give
more of
you.
that.
This clock is already halfway fucking full. God damn it. Why am I like part of me is like, am I using the tools correctly? But a critical should be a critical and a critical should feel good. And so half the clock is fucking full. Um, this might be a short session, guys. But that's fine. We can have these. Um, Fantastic. So, well then, fine, Jazzy. Silver, narrate like what the fuck do you find with your scrounge that like even though all of your supplies and your camping stuff was gone, what do you find that like manages to keep you like get you halfway across this, long trek? Yeah.
Yeah, I think um I find as I'm like sort of skittering into this place, I think I find animal tracks, and as I follow them, I think they sort of end in what seems to have been like at one time like some kind of cabin or hut where maybe like, like a ranger lived. And I think, there are signs that it has been long abandoned, but it's still like it's made to be extremely durable, right? Like this might be a person who is sort of with the seasons like rotating, right? Who like might have left it because it's getting uh it was like getting to be summer and it's only used in winter or spring or something like that. So it is abandoned. We don't have to worry that there's going to be somebody here who's mad at us, but it does have like quite a few comforts. And I think maybe one of the things as we get maybe like a little montage of people actually like it'll be fairly small, it'll be kind of cramped, but I think in almost a cozy way, like it's just like on the verge of it. Like if we had to live here for a long time, it wouldn't be pleasant. But given that we thought we'd have to sleep outside, like there's fire that we can put on. There's like it's kind of nice, maybe like an old fur that was left or something. And I think something else that we find, maybe Kirish finds it by I imagine being curious and like looking through the place. Is maybe like a handmade old map that has clearly like hunting paths
Right.
that is like made by someone who has lived here for a very long time. And these are like not on any of our maps, but they're made with such skill that like both Girish and Silver like look at this. And Girish from like an academic point of view and Silver from like a scout point of view, they're like, oh, this guy 100% knew what they were talking about. Like this is safe to follow. Like these are, noted down in a very precise way. Like this is clearly like somebody who's been like basically like a cartographer in a sense. It's just like a very small sense. And I think that allows us, if we follow it, like the paths are actually like much quicker. There's like a bunch of shortcuts.
Yeah. Let's paint the scene a little bit with this hunting cabin. And maybe it is like another lodge actually. If it's large enough to accommodate all of you guys for this night. Um what do you find inside that reminds you of your home culture? This is a question for everyone. So the Bartons, what is inside that reminds you of Barda? Uh we have no Orites, but what do the Panyars have inside of it? What reminds you of Panya and Zemya for our Zemyari?
I think there's like an opening that you can see through, but it's maybe like some kind of canvas or cloth, so it doesn't rain inside, but you can see through. I don't know how available glass is in this fantasy setting. If it is pretty widely available, it'll be literally a window. But you can see through it. And I think any pan you are stepping in immediately recognizes that you can sort of follow the moon with this. You will always like when the moon is full, it will shine in your house or like in your place as a blessing of the I forgot the goddess's name, but I remember that the moon was very important to Penyor. Nyx. I should have remembered that. Yeah.
I think there's also a little bit more space for this may not be intentional, but I think there's vines that have snuck their way through the cracks in the like siding in the boards, and made their way up some of the structural wood beams holding up the sides of this lodge, which have not compromised its structural integrity yet, but for now make it feel like part of the forest.
I think while poking around, digging through, Kirsch finds a small hunting like token on a chain. Maybe it's a like a tooth that's been drilled out and put on a small chain, and it has someone's name inscribed on it. It was clearly left behind. It must have been left behind intentionally, or not accidentally, because it seems like it was important to someone.
It's dead now, I think, but there is the remains of a tree growing in a hole cut in the floor of this cabin, which is a common Zamyati practice to grow a piece of the clan tree. And it seems someone at some point called this, Zamyati called this home.
Interesting. Um, how big's the tree? Like, is it still a sapling? Was this a more recent thing, or is it a?
I think let's go with it is a sapling, but it's dead. So
Oh, that's right. That's right. You mentioned. Hmm. Tragic. For our Panyar, Silver mentioned that like the idea is to follow the moon, and the moon was, as we know, shattered. Um, how have you guys, as Panyar, Crimson, and Silver, how has that affected your lives, your view on religion, um, or yeah, how did you take it? And how has your lives been since the shattering of the moon, which was probably about 5 years ago?
I think if anything, it strengthened Crimson's understanding that these forces are at some kind of war that's beyond the grasp of us down here on Earth, and it's necessary that we value and respect them, um, no matter the major cataclysmic events that we might be subject to down here. All we can do is um, understand the ways that they touch our lives and not take them lightly.
Silver, do you have any thoughts on the shattering of the moon?
Sorry, I was briefly distracted. Send me something. Can I get a quick recap?
Yeah. So you mentioned in your paint the scene that the skylight here was meant to track the passage of the moon, which a few years ago the moon was shattered.
Which I
Um,
remembered, yeah.
yeah. How how has your life changed, or your relationship to religion changed since the shattering of the moon?
Hmm. I think it was definitely a crisis of faith, but I think something so powerful as something divine or as the moon. I mean, the moon is there even when it's not, and that has always been true. So there is influence that the moon has on the world, even when you could not see it, even when its light did not reach us. And I think that's sort of the symbology or like the metaphor that she's holding on to. Like, this is not forever. I think is sort of what she hopes. She feels like this is the moon going dark for a very long time, and obviously in a very like awful way. And it will not be in her lifetime, she doesn't think. But if we stay faithful and if we keep trying and believing and fighting, you cannot kill a god in that way because that would change the world in like even bigger than we have seen, even bigger than the chosen becoming broken. And I think that there's like it can be fixed, although she wouldn't have like any actual ways to do that, but more so to believe that just because the moon has shattered doesn't mean that the goddess is truly gone.
Yeah, now just to be clear, the chosen of the moon, the chosen of Nyx was broken.
Hmm.
And that is uh, causality is a funny thing, but I will word it this way. When the chosen
Hmm.
of Nyx was broken, the moon shattered.
Right.
The two events are clearly related somehow, but how exactly that works is magic, mystery.
Hmm. Yeah, then
Um,
I'll change it to I believe that maybe there is something divine left in the broken, and that divinity can still be extracted. And I think there is, of course, like a horror that like it can be touched and it can be twisted, which, usually divinity is sort of safe from that.
mhm.
But if anything, that makes it more important that people still believe and still hold on to these things. Because if we don't, then our goddess currently cannot do it herself. So we need to do this for her. This is like really when she needs her believers, because she herself has lost that faith or has lost that power.
A question kind of, I guess, for the room then. Do you think that broken can be repaired or fixed, or do you think broken can become unbroken, or is it it's never been done, I'll tell you that much now, but is there any hope for the restoration of the chosen who've been broken?
Kirsch definitely believes that they can. It's just a matter of knowing how.
Adramir would want to believe it, even if he doesn't think they will.
I think Crimson feels more similar to Adramir in that, like, it's a lovely idea, but it's hard to say if it will actually ever happen.
Kirish, you mentioned finding this necklace with a tooth in it. One of the questions I've had is, we know Kirish is just a kid. Um, why do you think Kirish signed on with the Legion? And I guess if there's a way to tie it to this necklace, no, I'll just leave the question there for now.
He felt like he didn't have any other choice. It was either join and fight or stay behind and get turned.
Yeah, to be
Like it
clear,
was a rational choice. Like it wasn't a um, passionate choice. It was like this is a calculation of like I'm probably gonna die, but I might as well do it fighting instead.
okay, so that tells me that Kirish probably grew up in Aldermark. Barda is past Skydagger Keep on the in the Eastern Kingdoms.
Mhm.
But this is a multicultural world. You don't have to have grown up in Barta.
Mhm.
This is not Star Wars: A Planet of Hats or Star Trek, I guess. There can be Bartons living in Aldermark, and as we've seen with Adramir, and a Zemyati can set up a hunting lodge here in Aldermark. Um, do you think Kirish is was raised here in Aldermark and
Yeah, I
thus,
think
yeah,
so.
okay,
Cosmopolitan.
yeah. Oh, do you think he might have I don't know if the Legion would have been recruiting like in Carlsberg. They kind of got there and then immediately got their asses kicked.
Mhm.
What about the rest of your family, Kirish?
Pretty
They
sure they're gone.
they're gone.
Or
Oh,
I don't know for sure, but I'm that's my assumption.
okay. Then who in your family collected uh specifically like animal teeth on their necklace or
Ooh.
necklaces?
Um, Probably a brother, I'm guessing. An
Okay.
older brother.
Okay. Fantastic. Um,
And I think I didn't see them I didn't see what happened to them, and I think he like kind of wants to put it out of his mind. Like if someone asks him about it, he will say they're dead instead of worrying about what the actual result of being left behind was.
Fantastic.
Denying.
Oh, okay. Adramir, tell us a little bit more about your own family's clan tree. Like, do you know what kind of tree it is? Is it growing indoors in a similar fashion here? Is there a courtyard around it? Is it inside a castle? Very Westeros or
So
style.
the clan tree is if I recall, it's grown like in the center of the village or the holding, and then individual families will take cuttings of it to grow in their homes. And so there's no clan tree outside of this lodge, so it was probably something someone took from far away. And that was how Adramir's clan tree started too. It was a cutting from another clan that probably fell or had to flee in a raid because the Zamyati were not always the kindest people. But that resilience of starting again and finding a new home is something Adramir is more than a little experienced in. He's done it again and again.
Fantastic. I think you're all able to, tuck in, get actually a really nice sleep here, it seems like. You find some trails. I think we see Kirish poring over some of these maps. Um, Kirish. The game says I shouldn't call for actions here, but I feel like if you want to look over these maps, it's probably going to be a research roll.
Yeah.
Why fight it? I think the risk here again is time. The paths again, we're kind of like taking a zoomed out macro look. So it's not necessarily that you're going to spend a lot of time looking over these maps, so that might be part of it, but it's the trails that you take.
Right.
The maps might be less accurate than you were hoping. So let's go ahead and put this on the dice. I think you're in a risky position because again, you're risking time. I think you have a standard effect.
Mhm. I feel like
The
Kirsch is staying up late to do this. I'm gonna push to get an extra die.
Okay, 2 stress for an extra die.
So,
Uh, I guess Adramir might be in a position to assist. Crimson Reaching might be in a position to assist. Certainly fictionally, just tell me how. If any of you want to provide an extra die.
Yeah, Adramir, like research is part of his. He's educated. This is something he's quite used to. He'll be able to help, and I think eager to after that frustrating experience earlier. He wants to do something that he knows he's good at.
Awesome. I love that. Cool. Mark 1 stress. Kirish, you get an additional die from that. I think on top of all of that, you can accept a devil's bargain if you want.
I think I'm good with 4.
Okay. Yeah, 4 is pretty good.
Yeah, 4.
Listen, I've seen worse on 6.
Oh yeah.
Ben can back me up on this. Be happy with the 4. So because it was risky, that means 2 ticks on the found clock. Is 1 consequence. You can resist that consequence if you want. Resisting a quantified consequence will reduce it by 1. So instead of 2 ticks on the found clock, it would be 1 if you want to resist that. I think the other thing you mentioned staying up late and cramming. I think you're going to take a level 2 harm doesn't make sense here, but I think I will hit you with level 1 harm, and it will just be exhausted. That is another consequence that you can resist, and I think that's it. I think 2 consequences is plenty fine for this.
I don't think I'll be resisting anything else today.
Oh, how stressed are you?
Getting there.
Getting there? Oh, that's right. And you're a rookie, so if you
Yeah.
trauma out, you die. However, I mean, could somebody protect you in this way? Adramir, you're in position to protect Kirish. If you wanted to take that level 1 harm for him,
Mm.
we're now like, I feel like we're kind of straining fiction and mechanics, but I'm willing to ride this a little bit.
But like, I'll take over. You go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
certainly.
Okay.
you'll take a level 1 harm, exhausted. And if you let that ride, you get an XP.
I'll take it.
Okay, fantastic. Then yeah, just have that moment where, what does that look like? Is it really just you just tell Kirish like I'll take over from here?
Yeah, I think seeing the exhaustion and the fatigue, especially after everything today, he needs a rookie sharp. He can handle this. He's the leader. This is his job.
Yeah, and I'm at the point where like it doesn't matter how late I stay up; it's not getting any better. It's
That XP, does it go anywhere I want, or is it for research, for insight?
If I am reading the skill, it just says you mark XP, which tells me that goes wherever you want it to go.
Cool. Thank you.
Um, oh, I'm so glad. Early stars. Somebody finally used Just a Kid. We went through a whole game, and I've never seen it actually like mechanically get invoked like that. Fantastic. Um, oh, however, I have to give you like your actual benefit here. Standard effect. This feels like it should actually be a setup because what you're doing is you're looking over maps. So I think what I'm gonna do is say that subsequent rolls to do stuff, so long as it's like either scouting or maneuver, will be great effect instead of standard effect. Does that sound fair, Mark? Cool. Um, yeah, because you're not actually like moving stuff from part A to part B. You're
we're plotting
mapping
out
and
a course.
charting. Yeah. Um, so let's Crimson and Adramir, like or I guess Kirish, if you want to, we do actually have to like either, I've got some ideas here. I put them on in the clocks sort of tab here on um the mission phase page. Um but we actually have to like move the group. And so I could see like maneuver going here or scout. I think what I'm going to say is when you wake up in the morning or like when you start to set out again, man, it's the weirdest thing. It's like this fog came out of nowhere. And you can barely see more than 10 or 15 feet in front of you. And yeah. So I have this thing from Breaker where I'm allowed to just have fog. Um, she has a new ability. Uh, Breaker and witches can hex nature, covering troops with fog and storms and animating trees in combat. This is a new thing that Breaker has. And so, yeah, I think this fog just sort of springs up out of nowhere. What about the fog makes it feel unnatural? Anybody can chime in here.
It has a taste.
Oh God. What is it?
I don't think it's recognizable as anything, but it's just a little disturbing that you can taste it on the air at all.
Ugh. Lovely. Wonderful.
It also feels thicker than regular fog in that not necessarily like walking through it, but it doesn't like move or lighten the way that fog does, when you're immediately within the cloud, it still feels almost like just as soupy. And you can almost see the swirling trails that like a hand moving through it would leave.
I hate that. Fantastic. But you do still have these three wagons, a squad, two specialists to get through now the fog. But you have done these maps, and the maps give you, better position. Um, but we still have to get there. So we can do this a few ways. There can be people that you like negotiate with, and that would be something like consort. There can be terrain obstacles if you just want to tell me what it is. And then, we can do a maneuver roll. Um, I'd like to not make this the Silver Surging Tide show. So scouting might be a thing that can do, but I would love it for somebody to be other than Silver. But if we want to just like hammer the clock, we can do that too.
I mean, Crimson also can scout or maneuver.
That sounds doable. Yeah. Yeah, you've got fog or you've got like awful terrain. What would you rather deal with?
Um,
Narratively, I should say.
oh, fog usually. I love fog, just
Cool.
conceptually.
Then
A
this sounds
plus.
like more of a scouting than a maneuver role.
Sure.
Cool. So you are at risky position. Really, I should put you probably no, fog isn't gonna make it desperate. Um, no, this fog is thick as hell. I'm gonna say it's desperate position. You cannot see the 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 back. You can't even barely see the wagons behind you, or you have to like ride super close
Yeah.
to them. If you get more than 4 or 5 feet away, they just sort of vanish into the fog. It's also weird. It's like you're hearing voices in the fog, you know? So I think you're in a desperate position. Also because this is Breaker like literally putting her thumb on the scale. So desperate position. However, you are in great effect. So if you want to ride more cautiously, you can pull both of those back down to risky standard.
I'll keep risky great.
No, this would be risky,
Or desperate great. I think I'll
desperate
keep
great.
desperate great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, all right. Scouting, risky great. Silver, you could, if you want to mark one stress, provide assistance. I think that makes sense to me. Or, I mean, so could anybody else, but Silver's in a
But we're
good
scouting.
position to do that.
Yeah, I'll assist. That makes sense.
Cool. So you're at +1 dice. Uh, Crimson, you can push for an additional die if you want,
I will.
or
Yeah.
two stress to push.
Hmm.
Um, can you? Yeah, I guess. Uh, yeah. Um, Fantastic. So you're at +2 dice. Uh, if you're happy with that, you can roll, or we can talk about Devil's Bargains.
I think I'm happy with that. I think maybe we'll just go with this and see what happens.
Sure. Good. Save me from thinking of Devil's Bargains. All
5.
right. A 5. So you do it. But there are consequences. Now, this was desperate great. So 3 ticks on the clock, which does not fill it. first things first, I'm gonna fill this found clock.
Oof,
Um, it
that's
was
2 ticks
desperate.
worth.
It
Yeah.
was desperate. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Desperate normally translates to 3 ticks on a clock, both positive
Mhm.
and great and desperate both translate into 3 ticks on a clock, positive and negative, respectively.
Yeah.
So even if you resist, that would only take it to 2, which
It would
still
still fill.
fills up
Yeah.
the
All right.
clock.
No need to resist them. Let it
Um,
happen. I hear the hoofbeats or footsteps or something or branch snap, and that's that. That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. All right. Um, I think we'll go ahead and take just one more quick little 5-minute break while I get things set up for this. And yeah, we'll talk about what exactly that means. And I'll see you back in 5. All right, and we're back. I was just kind of thinking aloud about like how to reconcile some of this. And so I think what it is I think there are 3 small groups, call them triads of bandits, triads or quartets. Doesn't really matter, narrative numbers, not hard numbers. Um, and uh because you're out riding ahead, I'm it seems more interesting to have the fog making the bandits' lives harder as well. But the larger point is they do still find you, and this time they're coming for blood. You killed 10 of their guys. They're not going to take this lightly or easily. Uh, so yeah, how does this I actually, Ben, you kind of narrated like right before we left, is you hear the twig snapping, and I think you look over to expect to see like a fellow ghost owl, and there's just a bandit riding right beside you, somebody you've never seen before. And how do you know these are the same bandits as last time? They're the same company crew gang.
Mm. I think given the fog and given my slight panic, it's not by anything that I noticed on their uniform. I think I made eye contact with one of the bandits on the bridge before taking that shot, and I recognize not the facial features, but the fury in their eyes.
Yeah. And what do you do?
Um, I think I run. I don't think I'm equipped for this.
Okay.
Or,
Where do you think Crimson is in relation to the wagon train?
mm,
Would you be on
let's see.
point?
I think out forwards a little ways, probably um, flanking the path. And this is we're talking mountains, right?
This is more plains.
Woods,
You have the mountains
plains.
to one
Okay,
side. You have the mountains to your right hand side because you're going
got it.
south and they're to your west. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're
Then
in
I
more foothills, if anything.
okay. Then I think in this case it's not running back towards the wagon. It's dropping low to the ground and trying to find some bushes or a tree somewhere to clamber up before or hang
Oh,
from
so
before
you're so help me set the fiction. Are
yeah.
you're not mounted then, it sounds like. Is this like during a break then? A rest stop? Not full like, camping, but
Mhm. No, I think while scouting, Crimson prefers to move on foot
okay. Interesting.
because I think speed is less important than mobility,
So we have you up ahead.
which
There's a
also means we're not that far out. So the bandits
yeah.
might be kind of close to the caravan. Yeah.
Is anybody else with you?
Um, Had Silver helped with that
Oh
role
yeah.
or no? I don't remember. In that case,
Yeah,
Silver might
Silver.
also be scouting.
Okay. Um, so yeah, Silver, you're out here with Crimson, and Crimson, you lost sight of him because this fog is thick. Um, you lost sight of him for what felt like 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden you hear Crimson, do you like yelp, or you say you go running? So Silver at least hears like chicka chicka chicka, your footsteps.
Yeah, I think not everyone would, but Silver does. Silver is very perceptive. But no, no sound.
Then Silver,
No yell, at least.
yeah, you hear this sort of like you hear a sound, you hear the sound of a panicked Crimson and then running through the fog. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I slink my way to where I hear that and probably now spotting sort of getting like I see you running away, I spot the bandit. I think what I would like to try or like how I might assist is um because we have these maps, so we know the terrain better, hopefully, or at least well. I want to try to basically get them to like a ravine or like a dangerous place. So like I don't have to kill him, but nature's gonna do it for me, if that makes sense.
Sure. What kind of action do you think you're taking here in terms of action
Yeah,
roles?
I was thinking maneuver into position or traverse.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you are within, 5 feet of uh this bandit. Crimson has kind of left you alone, but fortunately this isn't a game where that's penalized. Um, but
Yeah, I think I'm sort of using that like hopefully this bandit thinks that we're all just panicking, right? Like Crimson panicked and ran off. So I'm sort of letting them see me do the same, and I'm hoping to basically sell like, oh, I'm easy pickings. I'm panicky. You're gonna drive me into a bad position. And then I don't know. Yeah, you mentioned about a flashback. Could we have set up traps or something like that? Would that make sense? Or like,
yeah. I think
I'm
that
also
makes
fine just like having this map and knowing the territory that I know that I don't know. There's something marked as dangerous because there's a bear or another ravine or like unstable ground or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe the reason that you and Crimson were like ahead was again, this fog is so thick, you don't want to suddenly like have a wagon go off into a ravine.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's more plausible. Well, sorry, either of those is plausible. But let's pick one and run with it. And it
Hmm.
sounds like leading them to ravine is
Yeah. That
uh
sounds more fun to me, or like makes more sense to me than that we would have like set up some trap in this. Yeah.
sure. Cool. Help me with the fiction. Are you mounted or are you as well on foot? The bandits can
Um,
be either one as well. You guys have horses, so I think, you know, use them
yeah,
however.
let's say that I'm mounted.
Sure.
Um,
I think it makes more sense for the bandits to have caught up with you for them to be mounted as well. But
yeah.
you could be taking it slow. Cool.
Yeah, and
Um,
maybe like Silver and Crimson, like we kind of teamed up, so one of us, in case a message needs to be sent quickly, is mounted, and the other one is like closer to the ground, unmounted.
cool. Yeah, so Crimson was on foot. Crimson is now currently running back to the wagon train. You are going to like run out ahead and take this bandit with you and try and get him to do the Looney Tunes into the ravine.
Yep,
Does that all
pretty
sound
much.
that all sound kosher and clear?
Yes, that is what I'm
Cool.
trying to do.
I'll buy a maneuver for this. I think because you have horses, and I'm gonna just put this at risky. Risky standard effect is all you need to take out this lone bandito. Um,
If I
yeah,
pushed it to great effect, would that do anything, or would that be? Like, would there be more that I can fool, or would we be able to slip past more of them or something, or would that just not really do anything?
I think that wouldn't necessarily give you anything extra here, although that does put me in a bit of a pickle of what would a critical look like, but let's jump that hurdle when we get to it.
Valid.
But I think you only need a standard effect here. Now, if you wanted to pull yourself back to controlled position and then push for effect, that's something you could do. And then if you roll poorly on the roll, you have more options with controlled position. But that's how I would use pushing for effect here.
Mhm. Um, no, in that case, I think I'm good. Mostly I wanted to get it to desperate for the XP and the extra D6, is why I asked.
Oh, got it.
But that's fair.
No, what you could do, what would put you in a desperate position is if you fictionally, if you ride back towards the caravan a little bit and try and get more of the bandits to follow you.
Sure. Yeah, let's
Then
do that.
I'll put you in desperate position. How does that sound? And I'll let you
That
take
sounds
out
great.
I'll let you take out 2 groups then and
All
at great
right.
effect, which maybe I
So,
shouldn't do. I'm setting myself up for failure, but sure, let's go.
so desperate great.
Desperate
Okay.
great. So you have that additional D6.
Yeah.
You also get to mark XP. By the way, I hope you all been marking XP
Yes.
for, for your desperate actions.
Yeah. I'm guessing nobody's really in a position to help me here.
It sounds like the one person who was let you swing. So
So valid. Push myself as 1 stress or 2 stress?
if you push for a dice, it is two stress. Or there can be a devil's bargain.
Yeah, do we have a devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain is the person making the fog will be on site.
Or not breaker?
Technically, as written, a shadow witch can also make
Hmm.
this fog. They can hex nature,
Hmm.
but
That feels like even a success would make her position worse. So I'm not sure.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd get rid of the bandits, but you'd have another situation.
Mhm. Um, nah, you know
Okay.
what? I'll just roll with it and I'll resist if I have to.
Okay. I mean, somebody else can come up with a,
Oh,
devil's bargain too, but
I rolled, sorry.
well, for future reference, other people can feel free to
Yeah,
chime in with devil's bargains.
I'll be more patient.
That is a success with a complication. So I did say on a success, you take out 2 of the 3 groups.
Why, thank you.
So, what does the consequence of a desperate roll here look
Do
like?
I go over the edge too when I'm like hanging there? Do I not time it? Because I'm imagining it's one of those like I'm like full speed ahead going there, and my plan is to like right at the edge of it, like I'm turning that horse and they barrel through it. I go the other way, but what if I can't control the horse or it slips and I
Right,
lose
the
the horse and
horse.
I'm like hanging there?
Yeah, and I'm also gonna phone in my devil's bargain because I can.
So
Um,
I didn't get an extra dice for nothing. Rude.
um, yeah, so so I think like you go riding to this cliff and you mistime it. Death to animals, I don't think is a thing. So I think your horse goes over and sorry. It's gonna get it's gonna do its best impression of Shadow the Colossus.
It's a
Uh,
Wilhelm scream from a horse somehow.
but you catch onto the cliff
Yeah, I
Um,
have that climbing gear, so maybe it's like we're both going over. I get it out, do like the swinging, and it clicks as I'm just hanging there by a rope,
yeah.
just smacking into the side of the ravine.
And to your credit, a group of banditos go, they run right over you, quite literally, and they don't stop and grab onto the edge of the cliff. But you turn and see, as you're dangling there, very Indiana Jones, you turn and see like sky is gone from, overcast, mildly overcast, which it always is in this dark fantasy world, but it's gone steely dark clouds. It might be middle of high noon and it feels like it's 9 p.m. Um, and you see this flash of lightning, and we haven't met these guys yet. One of the reasons I did want to introduce them. Once upon a time, um, the goddess Vizara, who Breaker was the chosen of, goddess of storms and lightning, she had these holy beasts. They're described as, let me pull up the description. Where are you, Breaker? Here you are. These were once the sacred rainbow feathered beasts of Vizara. Um, and Breaker, being a chosen of Vizara, had, the chief one of hers. Uh Now that she's been broken and corrupted, they are large bat-like creatures. I will pull up art of them. This is what the annals refer to as a devourer. Put that in Zoom chat. So they're kind of gargoyle-esque. Take a gargoyle and a bat and kind of throw them in a blender. They have these giant bat-like ears. They have a massive giant mouth. They have big gargoyle, bird claw talons. And the one you're looking at, however, is special. Their rainbow wings are now all usually like black and dark because this is dark fantasy. But this one is silver. This is Breaker's personal steed. The way that this Shadow Witch got here so fast is by using Breaker's personal steed named Silver, which is one of these things, but it's bigger because, of course, it is. It has a 14-foot wingspan. And you see that this Shadow Witch, on riding on its back, on its shoulders, basically, is looking at you. Now, you can resist this and get back into hiding, get back into the fog really quickly if you want. That would probably be a prowess resist.
Um, could I argue for inside because it's deception, and I'm trying to like trick her into either thinking that I'm already dead or that I'm went over to, but I managed to like whoosh into the mist fog.
Sure, I'll buy insight.
I
You
think
convinced me. Also because it was a scouting roll to begin with, so
oof.
that's 3 stress.
That is 3 stress.
How are you doing?
I can mark one more,
All
and
right.
then I'll have to have a micro trauma.
Okay. Fantastic. So you get back into the fog, or you deceive this Shadow Witch. It's not Breaker, that much I will say. It's just an ordinary Shadow Witch who has been given her personal steed. Um, but cool. 2 of the bandits are gone. There's still like a group of bandits left. So who's back at the wagon train? That's not Crimson Reaching Flower or Silver Surging Tide, who would probably encounter them. Adramir or Kirish.
Yeah, I think Kirsch is actually probably sticking close to Adramir, so probably both.
Both of you guys. Cool. Yeah. I think kind of a similar situation. Uh you are like how close are you guys to the coach, or where are you guys in relation to the wagon train?
I
Probably.
imagine near the front,
Okay.
Yeah.
because Adramir's in charge here. He's going to be leading from the front.
Cool. So yeah, I think you hear the sounds coming from behind you. I think you hear somebody in the coach raise an alarm. Um, Somebody from the coach goes, very Wild West, maiden scream. Um, oh my lord.
What is the reputation of our the Legion in this area, do you think? Like, is the Legion a known force, or are we just like a mercenary band that's going through?
So the Legion is known enough that that all the average Aldermani has opinions on them. Because again, uh the Legion was part of the old Empire, and the reason that
Right, right.
Aldermani, like, they can be player characters, it's just a little bit more rare than the origins, the heritages that you get by default. They don't like the old Empire, so you're well known and storied. Um, People have opinions on the Legion. The average person would know who they are.
I don't have an idea of how to do this, but I wonder if there's a way to make it seem like we have called in reinforcements and there are more of us than can be, because we're in that fog.
Oh, interesting.
Just watch Excalibur.
Interesting. I'm inclined to say yes. Uh,
What if we actually get reinforcements in the form of the bandits, who they're not going to be discriminated as not targets by the Shadow
Hmm.
Witch? We can deal
oh,
with
you
our
want
own
to
disagreement.
take on the Shadow Witch?
Well,
Eh,
she's here, isn't
she's
she?
here. Yeah, she's
Right.
here. Oh, you want to do a let them fight thing?
Well, no,
Uh,
we have a shared enemy right now, us and the bandits. Like,
oh,
because they're going to get killed by the Shadow Witch too. She's not going to care.
Hmm.
that's true.
And like uses as evidence of like, hey, maybe don't attack the people trying to protect you from the bad things that are coming.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I was not anticipating this, but I love it. Yeah, this sounds
Yeah.
like, I mean, Sway is the brute force option here. I could also probably buy Consort. Uh,
Discipline, command, obedience using force of personality.
Yeah.
Disciplining enemy troops. Sure,
Also
let's
intimidating.
yeah, let's go. Sure. Fuck it. Let's have some fun. Yeah.
As soon as we see that, or hear, maybe see a glimpse of Silver's wings, I assume that we are, even if we haven't witnessed Silver, like we know that that's
Silver,
how.
yeah, Silver's written in the annals.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm willing to say that this might be the first time you've seen a devourer in person and in flesh. I'll let you decide that on your own. These are, once holy beasts of Azara. Um, I think they would be rare, but you're also the Legion. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, you know what this is and who it represents. That's easy enough to find out. And if not, there's a Shadow Witch on top of it. And I think the Shadow Witch, uh, talking about like hexes and stuff, like even from a distance, you can see that her arms are like, covered in hexes. She's got, probably a scrawling on her forehead. She's a witch. She looks like a witch. She's a dark fantasy witch. Um, yeah.
As soon as Adramir is made to be aware of what's going on, he'll tell his plan to Kirish, certainly.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Let's get dice on the table because we are also coming up on time. This might be the last roll of the session, and we'll just like narrate the rest of it because I don't think there's really enough to make more into. We don't need to ride this into another session. So let's call it discipline. Risky standard. If you succeed, together you'll at least ward off the witch. Enough gunfire and it'll fuck off. Um,
What would great effect look like?
what would great effect look like? What would great effect look like? What could I get you for great effect? Um,
Could we get some bandits to stick around?
was the part of the mission reward is the troops to begin with. Uh,
How many troops?
it's supposed to be 3. Jazzy wants a soldier. So here's what I'll say is, well, no. Um, yeah, fuck it. Let's go. If it's great effect, we're at the end of the mission anyways. If it's great effect, I will increase the amount of troops that you get from 5 to 6. You'll get an extra rookie, and it will be a bandit. Does that sound fair? Does that sound worth it? An extra getting troops in this game is hard, I should say. You're not undoing a death necessarily, but kind of are.
I'm cool with that. Are we on board? All right. So I will up it to desperate.
All right, desperate, great. You're using discipline. Actually, no, sorry. Let me change the parameters. On great effect, I will give you for free a special mission tied to the bandits that you normally have to spend intel for. You will automatically get it next mission generation. How does that sound?
How does Commander? And
Yeah, sure.
yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Awesome. I dig it.
Cool. So desperate, great.
Desperate, great. Kirish, you're in position to help. You've been told the plan if you want to assist for 1 stress.
Yeah, I can spend a stress on that.
Cool. You're at +1 dice.
Bang, bang, bang.
Devil's Bargain. Oh, sorry. I guess I should ask if you want to hear a Devil's Bargain even.
I'm always interested in hearing one. Yeah.
Oh boy. End of the mission, so I can't really like supplies is not particularly interesting here. Let's see. Hmm. Just in the narrative space of this fight, the witch is going to, hit you with some hex. And if you mark 2 corruption, I'll give you an extra die.
2 corruption. I'll just take 2 stress. That's
I
easier
would
to
say it's kind of a setup one, but what would basically be the equivalent of a CFB marked by breaker or someone else condition, where like this is gonna come back, and the fact that this witch didn't kill us, but like there was this medic who like turned the tide is gonna make breaker go, well, I don't love that.
Special attention from the breaker. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you want to take a marked by breaker, Ooh. Yeah, if you want to take a marked by breaker. I will give you an extra die.
Sure. I will do that. So that's rolling with 2 plus a bonus of 2. No other opportunities here.
Bonus of 2. So you got Devil's Bargain, you're being assisted. You haven't pushed yet. If you have 2 stress to burn, you can push yourself for 2 stress to get an extra die.
Can I push and Devil's Bargain? I thought it was only one or the other.
No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. My bad. You can push for effect,
Right.
but there's nothing to be gained for extra effect here.
Okay. Let's do it. Success.
There's the 6. You rolled 4 dice. It's fine, whatever. Yeah, cool. We are at time. So yeah, just narrate. Yeah. If Kirish, if you want to throw in a little bit of like a setup here, like how do you help out? But Adramir, just in scope, tell me about like how you how you get these bandits to sway. What do you say? And then how do you ward off uh the Shadow Witch?
Assuming that the bandits are smart enough to plan to attack their most dangerous people at the front where the leadership would be, Adramir is going to just try and very quickly convey they won't care whether you're Legion or Bandit. Help us and we can get through this together. We can deal with our differences after. And that seems to a bit of logic kind of cuts through the fury, and because they'd be just as dead without us as we would be without them. So that's Adramir's part.
Fantastic. Kirish, you want to add anything to that?
I think just like when they start realizing the situation they're in, kind of just like riding alongside them and saying encouraging things.
There you go. Fantastic.
I don't have much more.
Yeah. And I think like together, like we just see the rookies, the ghost owls, firing off these shots at Devourer, and the Shadow Witch must have been ordered to keep her distance, because it doesn't engage, despite the fact that Devourer is very strong. But Adramir, how do you know that you've been quote unquote marked? Is it just a deep stare and a cold feeling in the back of your head? Or is there anything more to it?
Yeah, I think there's the witch stares, and you can see the wheels turning in her eyes. The she's making an effort to remember Adramir's face, and that's not a good sign. I think she even passes by, and there's no reason for her not. There's nothing stopping her from attacking as Silver flies by, and she doesn't. She just stares, and that's maybe even more worrying.
And as she flies off, we camera follows her for a little bit, and the fog, when she leaves, the fog finally begins to dissipate. And camera tilts down a little bit, and we see the silhouette of the city of Westlake there in the distance. And that is our mission, our primary mission. Let's Marshall, do you want to go through XP, or do you want me to?
I can do it.
Fantastic. Go for it.
Oh, I say I can do it, but yes, Roll20 is working with me. Kirish, I'm gonna start with you because you're the one that I clicked open. Every time you rolled a desperate action, you should have marked your XP.
Yeah.
At the end of each mission, mark 1 XP if you survived the mission. If you helped your squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the odds.
I think so, yeah.
If you brought into play your heritage or trauma.
Educated.
Sounds about right. And what was the highest opponent we faced, GM?
Silver is threat 3.
Ooh,
You can add 3 as well.
6 altogether.
Then we have Crimson. So you mark 1 XP if you survive the mission. If you helped your squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the odds.
I guess I'll take the second one. Surviving despite the odds, probably.
Yeah. And if you brought into play your heritage or trauma.
Only narratively in like the paint the scene stuff, but not so much in the mechanics. Will we count it?
I think the narrative part counts, right? I
Yeah,
think it's both.
yeah.
Either or. Yeah.
Cool. So it's 3.
All right.
And then 3 more for.
And then 3 more. And then scrolling up to our specialists. You mark in XP if you survive the mission. If you helped your squad through medical knowledge or emotional comfort.
Case for emotional comfort with helping Kirish get some sleep, making sure he's taking care of himself.
All right. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma.
Not. Did I?
Educated. Are you educated?
No,
I'm
tough
not.
and
Tough
bold.
and bold. My exhaustion didn't affect me during that last roll because I ignore level 1 harm penalties.
Yeah, and we also had
That
you
counts.
describing the tree and the fact that the hunter was Simiati, so. And +3 for facing the witch or silver.
Yeah, cool.
And for silver, I survived the mission. I helped my squad through stealth and foresight, mostly stealth, I think. Or I guess a little bit of both, on the bridge and scouting for stuff. If I brought into play my heritage or my trauma, I don't have trauma yet, but I brought into play my heritage, by like these animal-like tendencies of her, and also by the descriptions of what reminded me of the Pan-Euro culture, and I will also add +3 for the opponent.
All right. That is our XP done. I'm going to open up my stars and wishes tab, and if you have time, I'd love to hear your starsies and wishes. I think I can actually start. I say that and then instantly my brain just goes fucking blank. Today was a really fun session. I really liked the part of the conversation of this game that happened when we went from, finding a cabin to getting to talk about the heritages of these characters. Your responses to those paint the scenes were all fantastic. The responses to the paint the scenes about the old empire at the beginning were all really fantastic as well. I think we had some really good, just, shared world building. Uh, uh Convincing the bandit to join forces with you guys, never saw that coming. Again, just a wonderful element of quote unquote the conversation of, I'm throwing stuff at you because I think that's cool and you all do cool stuff in response, and I feel like that's how these games are played. So that was really fun. Let's see. Yeah, other individual moments. Just that whole opening, very tense. The stopping Valentina from shooting was just a really cool moment. Um, and yeah, trying to think of. I'm sure other stuff will come to me. But yeah. Wishes. Definitely want to see how the secondary mission shakes out. I think my wish for next session is again getting back in touch with some of secondary characters. Some recurring side characters like the hunters, or Bella, or uh but also now I want to put Breaker on screen because now I have an excuse to. So that'll be really fun, and I can't wait to see how that shakes out. And uh I hope that is really fun. So I'll step off my mound now and turn it over to somebody else.
Yeah, also Star for the setup. I thought it was a very cool, tense opening to the mission, which is also kind of a start of the dice. That starting in a desperate position, I think made for a really dramatic kickoff. I thought the initial response as a start to Ben for the like, but what if we can just resolve this, if you don't fuck this up for us, was a great initial reflex that got immediately destroyed, but brought back around in the end. So I thought that was kind of like gave some narrative satisfaction to the overall arc of the mission, which was nice. Reasoning with the bandits a little bit and to realizing that we're all in danger if the broken continue what they're doing. What else? Um, I think a continued start to the way the systems works in terms of getting to know all of the characters a little bit more. I'm still really enjoying that aspect of band play. And wishes, I am excited to see how the secondary mission resolves. That's really it.
I'll go star for the action movie shit at the beginning. Yeah, it was a strong start, and then it felt very not action movie, but like a solid episode of an action TV show. We had the rising action at the start, and then a bit of downtime in the middle, and then a climax with flying bat monsters and being ridden by witches. That was really fun. Um, I enjoyed, as mentioned, the paint the scene responses. It's tells a lot about the characters with what they think about the old empire, and it also makes me wonder, like, then what are you thinking about? What is potentially next here? The empire's gone. We're a remnant of that. If we make it through this, what do you want the world to be after? And so it'll be interesting to see if we ever get to think about that or explore those different ideas. Uh, yeah, the combats were fun, and I really enjoy the opportunity to make things riskier and for better rewards. That's fun. I have played Blades in the Dark, and my group there was, I think, a little more cautious, and it's fun to just kind of throw everything at the wall and see what explodes. Wishes, nothing in particular. Yeah, secondary mission will be good, and Kirish, if Kirish is getting promoted, that's exciting. Not just a kid anymore.
Cool, I'll go. Yeah, I had a great time. the setup on the bridge for the desperate situation was super fun. Just like no fucking around. Like we are fucked. What are you doing? What are you gonna do? That was like not pulling any punches was really fun to see how we did that. Like, and then the response like run, also great. Just run them over with horses. That'll work. Yeah, Jesse did something specific I wanted to call out. It was cool. I can't remember what it was. So unnamed star there for something. Oh, it was something. It was something. Yeah, I'll think of it later. All the world building stuff with the lodge and with the stuff about the empire and stuff, that was really fun. I really love the evocative, like now we're in this dense fog and there are bandits, and more stuff. That felt like it felt like the pressure really built nicely, and I think throughout, just like things felt risky this time. Like it felt like this could go really wrong, genuinely, but we did pull it out, which was nice. And I like the kind of like crumbs of a relationship starting between Adramir and Garish with like almost like a mentor kind of thing. Yeah, that's about it. No real wishes except for seeing how yeah, well, also Garish, see if they get promoted or what all happens in camp.
That leaves me. Yeah, I think echoing a lot of stars, I think the arc or like the structure of this mission was especially well done. I liked having that little opportunity to not quite like be out of distress, but like have that little like, it's night, we're coming down. We just found this really nice place that we thought we were all gonna have to just sleep, you know, on wet grass, and now there's actually a really nice place. So like see everybody react to that was fun. Um, and just like the little glimpses of this random hunter that, is not important, but still makes the world feel more lived in. Because there's like there were like all these little cultural things going on there. Um, which I think, yeah, Kevin, I think you had some especially interesting leading questions and being the scene questions this session. That was really fun. Um, yeah, I love Adrimir being like the perfect combo of being very done with people and also still believing in them. Like there's just this constant like you can be better, but like an annoyed emoji after it, Like I need you to understand this already, so I don't have to explain it to you because I'm tired. Which I think is a very fun vibe for a medic. Sort of meeting both the like cynical combat and like the hopeful medic side is a very fun character trait of Adramir. Um, I liked seeing Kirish played by being like by someone else and still feel very Kirish. That was really fun to see. Um, yeah, excited if he gets promoted. That would be very interesting. I don't think anybody in the Legion saw that one coming. Um, yeah, wishes. Um, Mostly a wish for myself is I'm not very good when there's like when I have to keep track of like gear and stuff that I have that makes sense for me to do something with instead of just making up like the craziest plan possible. So I want to get better at, I guess, being realistic but also interesting, which is something that I definitely need to improve at. So that's my wish to get more training for that. And also actually finally see a flashback in use because I don't think that we've really done like a proper flashback in that Fortunate Dark way.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, gear flashbacks, like a lot of that stuff is tools in the kit. And if they make sense, use them. Some people use them more or less. They're like like Jack originally said, like there's a lot of game to this game. So, you know, not using everything is fine. And I don't think this game is so tactical that it's like, if you don't take this special ability, you're just being bad. Which to the game's credit, I think that's fine. But yeah, for sure. Flashbacks are an element of the game that I'm also not terribly great at. Wasn't when I was a player. As a GM, I'm like, if somebody uses them, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But that's
I think
all.
it's more like in the beginning, like at the bridge, I was really like, I don't know what I can do that doesn't feel outlandish. Because I agree with you, or like, I don't think that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, but then I like don't know what to do. So I want to
Yeah.
get better at like finding something that is reasonable and interesting, um, like while also adding something cooler to the fiction than what we had, and be
Mhm.
like a little more creative and like, okay, no, you're right, that would be weird. That doesn't make sense. But then like, what do I do?
Yeah. And I'm trying to say yes to stuff you guys come up with.
Hmm.
Or, you know, at least being like, help me get there. You know, and that might have been me making that opening position a little bit too narrow, but I was also like, I need to make it desperate, and so I might have gone a little hard. Um, but you know, well, well, we got through it.
Hmm.
Um, but in any case, that's what we got for Stars and Wishes. If there's anything else, we have a Discord server, and I've kept you all way too long, as usual. But say la vie. I will see you all next week.
Thank you.